Okay, don't talk about Chris Claremont and Star Wars.
Talk about you.
Bruh. I don't have anything to do about comics.
Or Willow. No, Willow. That was it. Willow. He wrote the book for Willow. He wrote it. Came up to me and was like, oh, look at this.
The smoking
Like it's all like, yeah, I'm showing you. It says the continuation of Willow. It's all right, Nick. All right. Hey, welcome to another episode of Chairs, Comics, and Commentary. We have a guest spot. We've got Nick here today instead of Mike. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And we've got our newcomer Angel here, man. He's even got like notes and stuff. Gonna make us all like that. So we're here to talk about some issues coming out. That came out this week, maybe next week, and some future issues. But yeah, so we're going to talk about comics. That's what we've been doing lately. We said we're going to come back and do more than one show, like we did no shows last year. But we're going to start off with Nick today. Hey, Nick. Nick's been one of my friends and customers of the Dragons Lair for longer than I have, and he used to come in the store all the time when I started working behind the counter, and they had this big chair. And it's funny because Nick is he's vertically challenged. He's not sure he's vertically challenged. And I remember him coming in and I started getting to Nick, and I'd come in, I'd look down, and I was a big shout. I'd go, hi, little man. So, Nick, what you got? What you been reading lately, buddy?
What I've been reading lately?
Or what can you talk about? I mean, comics.
Well, I did read The Duke that came out.
Oh, well, there you go. You did read something.
How'd you like it?
It was not bad. It was good that Mercer was in it, but I felt that the time jump was a little aggravating.
Talk about the time jump in the beginning?
Yeah. But other than that, it was good.
Okay, well, when you talk about time jump, what they do? Jump backwards, jump forward?
They
jump
forward.
They jump forward.
Yeah.
Forward 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months forward. Yeah.
I said they tried to do one of those movie things.
Yeah. So it was a good read. It introduces some characters into the Energon.
Yeah, it talks about some of the characters he was working with beforehand, and I just like the whole thing of Mercer being shown up. Because everybody knows Mercer from being
Mercer was
Marauders.
he was Slaughter's Marauders. Started off as a Viper.
Yeah, he was a Crimson Viper first.
Crimson Viper, and then Slaughter somehow turned in the cartoon and the comic books, kind of turned them over to his side and stuff.
Oh. Hey kids, this is Sergeant Slaughter.
So Nick's
or however you used to talk.
Yeah, but they introduced Destro too, right? And a couple other ones.
Destro was introduced into it.
I always like Destro. I'm not a big J.J. man. I like Destro.
They showed the bat, and I like that.
I was never actually a big Cobra Commander. I liked when they brought in what's his name?
Don't careful, Nick might jump out of it.
The big bad guy.
Serpentor.
Serpentor was bad as hell. Serpentor was bad as hell.
Con.
Because Brazen Cobra Commander was like Starscream.
Yeah,
Joes.
It was the same voice.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So you have this leader who sounds like a little wuss.
Yeah,
I mean, to me.
Oh yeah.
He's a little whiny. Yeah.
So Duke. Overall, what'd you think of Duke as far as if you get a rating compared to the Transformers or even the new G.I. Joe? You're a big G.I. Joe fan, so talk more about how's it going.
I still like the new G.I. Joe, even though it's got the undead kind of. But the first issue, Duke, was good. I'll see how it goes with issue 2.
Well, it's only a mini, so
yeah.
Is it 3 or 4?
But it's a mini, then it's going to go into another G.I. Joe comic.
right. But that's what I'm saying.
You have to read
a mini.
Duke and Cobra Commander, and then
low barrier, kind of like House and Powers events.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. Well, I'm glad you're able to join us and tell us about G.I. Joe and that it was good, or Duke, it was good.
Yeah.
Glad you were very explanatory about that. I know. I put Nick on the spot. Come get in the video. Take up for Mike and.
It was amazing.
Love it.
You still did it wrong. It's amazing. We miss you, Mike. Mike's sitting and watching. He's watching. He's gonna be cussing us the whole time. Well, when I talked to Mike earlier, he was actually on the beach with his mom and the kids, and he was having a good time down there. So
a little jealous.
Yeah, a little jealous. Yeah, like in December, he's that's actually kind of cool. So we got Angel here. Angel's got a big long list of notes. So Angel,
the notes are only for one book.
For one.
Well, it was the one I enjoyed the most. The notes that I enjoyed the most.
With Angel, I said, hey, we got these new books. Go, take them home. I know you're reading because it takes me 10 years to read a comic book. This guy reads it like 10 seconds, No,
not that fast, but I did. So I read Batman 141. All the books I read were DC, coming out next week. So they'll be on the shelf Tuesday in here. But I read Batman 141, which is part 3 of the Mind Bomb, I think it's called. The current arc that's in there, where Zur-On-R, that personality Batman has, that was his failsafe, occupies the body of a character that was introduced at the beginning of Zdarsky's run, which is called failsafe.
Hence why the cover was a split.
Yeah,
because they had the cover, a similar cover that was like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so essentially, Zur-On-R is the personality Batman would have or built in case he went so far, and saying fail-safe and kind of to take him there. So now you have that personality inside an almost indestructible body. So we'll see where that goes. I can't remember how many parts to this arc, but it was a good, strong entry to the arc. It wasn't bad. The art was on point. Zdarsky's writing has been really good so far. The other one I read was Titans Beast World Tour Atlantis. I will say this. if
Just buy it. Don't worry about it. Just buy it.
If you've been reading Aquaman and if you've been reading Teen Titans, this takes place before Teen Titans number 6. And I can't remember where in Aquaman it takes place. There's 3 stories. First story, Aquaman, is the main focus. The second story is Jackson Hyde.
Okay.
And then the third story, Mara takes the focus. But it's a little bit of the aftermath of what happened in Beast World Evolution, where Beast Boy became a Starro to defeat a thing. And
so he became a Starro?
He became a Starro and then got taken over by Dr. Hate. And then did Starro stuff and started taking over. But the difference is not only are they taken over by mind, they also can transform into animals or other beasts as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the other one was actually Vixen. So if you read Waller Rising, the other anthology in there was kind of a continuation of that story. Had Vixen, Deadeye, and Boomerang in it, and some Amanda Waller. So it's some more world building to what Waller's.
And speaking of Starro, I thought that was, I mean, if you haven't seen it, Suicide Squad, when they had to start, that was hilarious. It was actually really good.
It was
cool. I thought it was cool, especially when all the rat started, and it was like a regular human being like this. And you're just like, get these things up, trying to get it off.
Cool, yeah. It was good stuff.
And it's funny because back in the 70s or 80s, there was no way they were going to do that.
Yep. Now you can. Right? Now you can, and not only that, I think it was a great way because that was the first villain that the Justice League fought. Right?
Exactly, yeah.
So you bring it in for the Suicide Squad movie, I think it was pretty good. That was good stuff. And then the last one I read was Kneel Before Zod, number 1. So it's a new ongoing series by that. That's the one I wrote my notes for. So let me pull it out so you don't think I'm looking between my legs.
And this is what's weird. So, I'm going to tell about it.
Yeah.
I'll ask you a question.
So it's written by Joe Casey, Dan McDade is the artist. So the art in the book, again, it's split. It has a backup story setting up something going on in Action Comics, but the main story is written by McDade, and hopefully I'm not insulting him, but his art is very like Samney, like Chris Samney.
I like that. I picked it up. I'm gonna take this home, and I was
like Chris Samney and a little of he did. I just mentioned the name, but he did not Infinite Frontier. But he did he did the Justice League thing, so a little bit of a throwback type of art.
So it's a little cartoony.
Yeah, a little cartoony. But it opens up with a conversation with Zod and Jor-El, which was kind of weird because Jor-El is supposed to be dead. Yeah. Turns out Jor-El's living rent free in Zod's head.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So there, and then it goes from there into a fight with Zod and his son. Lair Zod, who was introduced in Action Comics 984.
And when does this take place?
So this takes place in the times. So it took place after General Zod was in Suicide Squad. And after, I can't remember, I think Action Comics 984, Suicide Squad, Action Comics 984, and then when he had in the last Green Lantern run, when Zod had a run-in with the Green Lanterns because he took over a planet and stuff like that. So it's a little fuzzy. It's actually one of my cons of that. But the other thing that this did was it set up a fight between Zod and his son, Lair Zod, Zod obviously kicks his son's butt and casts him off the planet. He's like, hey, you go do something. Seems like a rite of passage type of thing, but that's another little con there. And then Zod just essentially, it time jumps a month. But Zod, they're expecting another child, so if you're into that type of stuff, him and Ursa, they're having another child. And so now, but you have other players in there, like other alien races, the United Planets, all that stuff kind of coming there. So it's still a little early to kind of see what a feel is, but if you like darker tone, Kryptonian type stories, definitely give it a pick up. My rating was an 8.0. My pros was it set up Sinister Sons, which is coming out in February.
Like, what's called the other Sons. Super Sons.
Super Sons. So that one will star Lorzod and Sin Sun or Sinestro's son, who was introducing Green Lantern #4. So if you want to go pick that,
that's by Tomasi as well.
Yeah, that's Tomasi. Yep. And then another pro is if you're a new reader and you like the Man of Steel movies, this Zod is very similar. Before he got his neck broke, obviously, Man of Steel, but he's very similar to that General Zod, how Michael Shannon portrayed him, and Zack Snyder portrayed that. So you get to see a little bit of that backstory and how he became who he is and stuff. So he carries some of that there. Some of the cons, it jumps right into the story, doesn't fill you in on how they got to the planet. So it really relied on you having read Action Comics or Suicide Squad to see how Zod ended up where he's at. And, you know, how they joined the United Planets, all that other stuff. And then the Druzod, Lorzod fight set up something like Sinister Sons, but there's other things that it might set up, but it really didn't kind of explore what that was. So, but other than that, it was good. I put an 8 out of 10 on there. So It's definitely good, strong first issue. It'll be one of the ones I'll probably add onto my pull list.
That's cool. So it's actually funny because I saw the gold foil. That was a beautiful cover.
Yeah.
And then I you know guys know what kind of artwork I like. And the cover and I opened it, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna let Angel read this.
Darwin Cook, that's the other artist.
Yes.
Darwin Cook,
Darwin Cook,
a little throwbacky-ish.
Yes, very so, very much so.
Yep. But other than that, it was Kneel Before Zod, Batman 141, and Titans Beast World War Tour.
No, we're not saying not to buy the Titans.
Yeah,
he's just not. He's ranking. He's going
just my rankings right now. But definitely come on out, pick them up if they'll sound interesting.
Cool. Well, what I'm going to talk about is actually a book that I actually talked about during the pandemic or after the pandemic. I can't remember. When it first came with Geiger. Geiger, man, I love that book. And we're talking about DC. You can't get any more DC than Jeff Johns.
Yeah,
you know?
Jeff Johns,
But Geiger is actually in the Image universe. In the Image comics, they publish it. But it's pretty cool because this one called Geiger Ground Zero. It's a 2-issue series, and it's the origin of Geiger and how he became who he was, and how it leads up to everything in the series that came out 2 years ago. But the really cool thing is that it's leading to something bigger, which it's Jeff Johns, Jason Fabok, Brett Anderson, and who was Brian Metzler, a bunch of creators. They're going to start their own kind of company, which is Ghost Machine. And the first book comes out, I believe, in January. They're going to have different things going on. The first book is Ghost Machine, and that's going to be a introduction to all these different books called The Untamed. But it's really weird. I've got my little notes in the back comic book. It's got all the different time zone, not time zone, the years where they take the timeline where it takes place. It's actually really cool. Very interested because Geiger, when it came out, was a great fun book.
It was.
And I was like, man, it took him like forever to come out with anything, and I think that was because, of course, the pandemic had gone on, and Jeff Johns busy doing other stuff. And then when this new series came, I was like, oh, let me check that out. And I didn't realize it was a 2-issue series. Yeah. And leading to all this stuff, after I read the first issue, I was like, oh man, they've got this whole universe. And if you read the first series, they had all the stuff going on in Vegas, where all the different things. And I was always interested to see how this goes. That king, the young king.
Yeah, I haven't read Ground Zero.
Yeah, so definitely check out Geiger Ground Zero #1 and 2. They're both out, and it leads to like I said, Ghost Machine comes out in January, and then it's going to be another Geiger series coming in April, starting with new #1. But definitely a must check out. And we've got other comics coming out here soon. We're going to be doing other stuff. As I said, this is our third show. Our third show so far this year. So that's actually a step for us. That's 2 more than we did last year. So, as we always say, it's all about the comic community. Come check us out. If you're in town, where the Dragons are in Fayetteville, North Carolina, or if you're out of town, you want to come in, you come into North Carolina. Dragons are in Fayetteville, North Carolina, 6243 Yadkin Road. We're on the main road that comes out of Fort Liberty.
Yeah, Fort Liberty, yeah.
I had to say it, but because that's what it is now. And I originally was born on Fort Bragg, but so anyways, I hope you guys have a great weekend. As we always say, it's all about the comic community. Come and check us out when you can, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.